Welcome to Solo Shot First, and today we're going to be having a look at the Ned B character from Star Wars, the Wan Kenobi series. Now, I am aware that this figure was available in I think it was a Disney 4-pack. But the only character that really sort of, I suppose, floated my boat was this particular character from the series. And one of the reasons, I suppose, is I do love the fact when they introduce new droids. I think they play such a massive part, obviously, in the sort of whole of the Star Wars saga and the whole of all of Star Wars, really. But this one particularly, it just really stood out, obviously, within the actual Wan Kenobi series. Now, I think these were primarily meant to be designed as sort of loader droids, which again is no problem. You could have more than one of these. At the end of the day, this sort of character or this sort of droid, if you like, not necessarily calling him Ned B, but will always be used to sort of load onto different vehicles, etc. In terms of the card back, it's actually quite it's a nice looking card back. It's a bit of a shame. I don't like this whole thing with the retro, with this whole sort of the sort of scratching or whatever they do down the side to make it look old. I appreciate the reason why they do that, but I don't think it's even necessary, really, especially when you've got new characters like this. Now, of course, this character is going to have really, really limited articulation, just sort of being, I suppose, a 5 POA. But the card back's nice. The image is obviously probably captured straight from the series. You've got the Kenner logo in that bottom right, the Warning logo in the top right-hand side as you look at it, and the 4+ age group in the left. How do I feel about these sort of retro collection sticker things that they put on? I don't even think that's a sticker now, maybe. It's probably just... or is it? Yeah, no, it is still a sticker. Apologies. Do they really need to put that on, especially when you've got a new character like this? It's not like this was ever released in any other line, so it probably didn't need to have the retro collection on. Here he's hoping that we do actually get this figure specifically in the vintage collection, although I'm not quite sure how much hope we have of probably getting that being quite a peripheral character. But in terms of the card back, it does look very, very nice. The actual Ned B comes obviously on the blue name pill, blue background, and it does actually make the figure stand out nicely. And the figure actually inside the packaging, although with incredibly limited articulation, as we know, does look very, very nice. So let's have a quick look at the back of the card. So really not too much to report on the back of these sort of retro collection cards. I mean, literally all it is saying, these sort of cards are inspired by the 1970s Star Wars figures. It does tell you, obviously, the other figures that you do have in that retro collection line, the Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Wandering Jedi, the Darth Vader from the Dark Times, obviously the Ned B that we've got here, Reva, the third sister, and the Grand Inquisitor, the fifth brother. So and then so much legal information on the bottom. I mean, it's a real shame that I think they could just make the back of these cards far better, but it's only an opinion. Let's go back and take a look at the front of the packaging again before we get this figure out. So one final look at the front of the packaging again. It's a really nice card back. I think if they ever did this in the vintage collection, I think it would look really, really nice. But I just don't think that, personally, it's only an opinion, I'm just not quite sure we would get that. But I just love the idea of having all of these new different droids that they put into the sort of Star Wars universe. And especially for a character like this, as I said, where, to be fair, you could have him even loading cargo boxes or whatever, even on the Falcon and things like that. So anyway, without further ado, let's get this character out, or I should say the figure out, and we'll have a look at him out of the packaging. Okay, so here we've obviously got this figure out of the packaging now. I've got to say, it is actually a really nice looking figure. It's just such a shame that it's so limited in its articulation. I mean, I obviously I realised that was going to be the case. Obviously, being in this part of this retro line, that is obviously part of that's why these are designed. But it just didn't need to be it probably could have been on a vintage collection card. I've got him on the stand there, but actually didn't even need the stand because the peg holes in this are so wide. You can see I just drop him on and pull him off. That's really wrong. Sorry about that. But John, you just pop him on, pop him off. It doesn't even really fit into the peg holes. It literally just slots straight in and slots right out, sort of straight out. But it's a it's a really good resemblance of the actual figure that you do see from the actual series. Nice colouring, not too much weathering, which you obviously you would expect on a 5 POA figure. But it does look exactly pretty much as you see him probably in the series. In terms of the look from the back, sorry, I should have just swiveled that whole thing round, shouldn't I? Again, not too much to sort of showcase. He's just got that decent yellow, obviously the blue on that sort of forearm, if you want to class it that as a robot. But it looks nice. You can imagine this being exactly what it is designed to be. A character that literally is loading cargo, loading weapons, loading whatever you want onto different vehicles. So in terms of articulation, very, very limited. Obviously, you've got the swivel on the head. You literally got the arms go up and down and the legs go up and down. So just the 5 POA. The accessories that come with it is quite nice. That you do get this hammer, which is a nice touch. You do actually see that in the series where the stormtroopers are trying to question him and then are being told that, look, actually he doesn't speak. He's just a loader droid. It's quite nice that they give you that. Overall, yes, it's a basic figure. But as I said, I wanted this just because, again, these are the sort of things that any droid, you could probably pop this into any, if you're building any diorama or you are, putting into any scene, you could have one of these in. He would quite happily fit into a scene on Tatooine or anywhere else, really, where there are droids involved. So, at the end of the day, I said this was the figure I wanted. I know that there is that Disney 4-pack, but this was the only one that really sort of floated my boat. Would I like to see it in the vintage collection? Of course I would. Do I think we'll probably get that? Probably not. Just because, as I said, he's quite a peripheral character, even though he obviously does stand out very, very nicely. But overall, good character. If you love your droids, then this is probably one worth picking up. Anyway, listen, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've got any questions, any comments on the figure, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll come back to you as soon as possible. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.